So tonight's discussion is about Christelyn, the Queen of Kings, and being a good mentor. I have to admit, I don't know the Queen of Kings. I have never watched her channel. I am aware of, she has shown up in my algorithm, so I'm aware overall of who she is. But other than that, I don't know her. I'm being unclear. I've never watched any of her content, even though I have seen her and her husband. I do know Christelyn, though. We are going to have a conversation not about Christelyn and Queen of Kings, but about us and what we can learn from the situation that went down. I think it was last week. Click the like button. We're going to put on our 90-second clock, give people a chance to come in, and then we're going to talk about being a good mentor and what that takes and finding a good mentor as well. So here you go, 90-second clock. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Okay, who's here to be messy tonight? Because there are a lot of people in the chat here. Put a one in the comments if you all can hear me. Put a two in the comments if y'all are here to be messy. You know that our mess is limited over here because really this is about us having a discussion. And I should have really called this being a good BWE mentor because we're going to talk about it from a Black woman's point of view and the BWE point of view. But hello to everybody that is here. First of all, I'm seeing one and twos in the chat here. So hello to Rana. Hello to Lanique. Rana was actually commenting early that she was going to be here to listen. Good to see you. Curls on a Plane is saying great topic. Yeah. So we're going to talk about this because I saw some pretty disturbing stuff. Y'all know I built last week. I actually launched my showmethemoneycourse.com for anybody who is a real estate investor. You want to learn how you can actually get the money to purchase real estate, showmethemoneycourse.com. I am going to be promoting that heavily. And we are also going to start having our Rich AF chats and other chats once a month as well. But tonight we're going to talk about BWE, some of the toxicity, being a good mentor, being a good mentee, things like that. So hey, to Tori and Dreams, happy Labor Day to you. Salute to Alonzo is in the building. Shar is here saying greetings to everybody and reminding everyone to please sign up for our email list at bwmakingmoney.com. Y'all are saying 1 and 2 here for the mess and for the message, because we are here for you. Thank you so much. What is 3? You adding it all together, huh? Hey, Farida. Hello, hello. Okay, everybody, let's first of all, I thought I lost my debit card today. Um, how many of you have ever had the panic of that? And y'all know payday was Friday. The mortgage is due. And I was like, you know how you're like, it was my debit card that's tied to like my account where I pay the mortgage and thing. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, turns out that I went to get my nails done. See, this is why you don't panic. I'm like, when was the last time I had it? So I went to the app on my phone, saw it was a nail salon. I'm like, duh, Cherie, it's in your purse in the pocket, right? So, you know, that was part of the reason why I was late, an hour late. But yes, your girl thought that she had lost her debit card. Yes, Rana knows how it is. Baby, I locked that card so fast. Yes, fortunately for me, I was like in the grocery store. I'm like, where's my card? And again, fortunately, I had another card. And y'all always carry two cards where, just in case, right? But I was able to get my groceries and I went out to the car. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was about to call. I'm not gonna tell you what bank I bank with, but I was about to call the bank, right? And I was like, let me check the app just to see last time I used it. And I was like, oh, the nail salon. So anyway, but that's not what y'all came in to talk about. Y'all came in to talk about this topic. So um, I do want to make a couple of comments before we get started with this topic. My topic tonight is about Black women mentoring Black women. So we're talking about woman to woman, right? Not talking about a woman mentoring a child or a mom or an aunt or somebody like that mentoring somebody under the age of 18. We are talking about a grown woman mentoring another grown woman. I want to make that crystal clear. Um, so, Rose is a woman who has a YouTube channel. And uh, how many of you have ever watched their content? I will admit I have never watched their content, but put a 4 in the chat if you watch their content, put a 5 in the chat if you have not. I obviously have seen them in my algorithm because YouTube serves up all sorts of things, but I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of the odd couple there. And I overall knew um, like what the channel was about, but I never tuned into any of it, because I'm not looking for a man or anything like that. I'm just a girl that tells you, I do believe what Christelyn says about finding the best man for the job. I do. Uh, but, I don't really consume a lot of that content because I'm not really looking for a man. If I need a man, I know how to get one. I've been married before. My husband passed. And, uh, you know, if I choose to get married again, fine. If the right person comes along. So some of you are saying 5s you haven't watched, and then some of you are saying 4 that you have. Yeah, Rana's saying I never watched it, but I heard about the mess. Okay, yeah. So apparently Rose and her husband, I don't know if they're still separated, but they put out something saying they were separated. Some audio leaked from her saying that she pays all the bills and she does everything. And I should just take a step back and say that when she married this man, she already had 2 children from another man who was a Black man, and that man left her with 2 sons. And then in comes this man here. And he basically, I don't know if he formally adopted the children, but he basically was taking care of the family. And then she leaked something saying, well, you never paid for anything. And, basically calling him a deadbeat. That's not the point of this. The point of this is Christelyn Carrison. And I don't know how people are going to take this, but I want to like Christelyn. God, I do. I think her message of find the best man for the job is an important message for Black women. I think that her discussions of etiquette and knowing how to navigate in a lot of different um, sectors. And we're home of the upwardly mobile Black woman, so the super majority of us already know how to go to a country club and what to wear and how to network and things like that. But Christelyn reached out to women who may not necessarily have grown up or navigated in those sectors before. And I was rooting for Christelyn when I first saw her. Um, and I began to listen to her. I'm like, okay, this is a great message for younger women coming up. She did the pink pill for college. She really talked about, hey, when you're in college, you should be networking. You should be networking for career. You should be networking for friendships. You should be networking for a future husband. I was behind all of that. I am behind Christelyn's messages overall. What concerns me is the, how do I say this? What concerns me is some of the outbursts that I'm seeing. And it unfortunately tarnishes the entire platform that could be so much larger. It tarnishes the BWE name. I've said before that I do put BWE in all of my content because I want women who are searching for financial information in the BWE space to find us, right? I do think it is important for us to have a hashtag where future upwardly mobile Black women can come and find us. However, Christelyn is driving me a little crazy. And when I say, look, I don't go to bed thinking about her, right? Or anything like that. It's just the impact that she could have, you know? And as somebody who is the same age as her, as somebody who wants to be a good mentor to all of you, and understand this, there are people who mentor me, right? There are people who mentored me when I was 20, 30, in my 40s. I'm about to be 50. Um, and there are people who are going to continue to mentor me. We have to figure out a way to be better mentors and mentees to each other. And the reason why I wanted to do this topic is not to crap on Christelyn. This is actually not about Christelyn at all. This is just going to be us using her as an example of what we're talking about here. But for us to really figure out, okay, all of you are here, we network together, right? How can we as Gen X women be better mentors? And how can um, younger people find great mentors, be great mentees, right? So, what I'm going to do is, if I get a copyright strike, I hope I don't, but if I do, I'll just have to deal with it. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to play a couple of minutes of this. So, the story is that Christelyn and Rose were supposed to do a live together. And 22 minutes or something like that before the live was supposed to happen, Rose said she was busy, and Christelyn was hot. Christelyn was hot. She was mad. The issue is not her being upset or disappointed. The issue is bringing it to YouTube. So I'm going to make this actually smaller here. Let's see how to make this smaller. There we go. And we're going to play a little bit of this, and I have some things to say. Let me make this regular speed.
We talk. We're good. It's no shade against Tasha K. The shade is that somebody who's smaller because it's niche, I really honestly just wanted to help her understand what her messaging could be based on all the mistakes I made.
Okay, So, first of all, Christelyn mentioned the fact that um, Rose has over 1 million subscribers, and Christelyn, has 100,000 subscribers, and Rose canceled on Christelyn because she felt that Christelyn wasn't as big as Tasha K. We don't know that. We don't know that, right? The second thing, which was more important, when Christelyn, I started here because Christelyn is saying, well, I wanted to tell her this and I wanted to tell Rose that. Did Rose ask you? That's number one for me. I never mentor somebody or suggest something to somebody. And again, this is a topic for adults, right? Like being a mentor to an adult woman. I never mentor an adult woman unless they ask me. I never give advice to an adult woman unless she asks me. The first thing, anybody who's a fellow mentor around here, is unless the mentee asks us our advice, then we can't just go around get, oh, I think you should do this, oh, I think you should do that. Even if you may know some things, even if the information you have to provide is useful, we have to be careful as mentors pushing our advice on people. We do. If a mentee doesn't ask, then we should not be presenting information to them. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't come on your YouTube and say, look, this situation is happening, and these are some of the thoughts that I have. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, if a mentee does not ask, at least for Cherie, right? Over here in this space, Black women making money, if a mentee does not ask, I'm not contacting them to give them advice. Okay? Let's keep listening to what Christelyn is saying.
Because I too was motivated by wanting Black women to have different choices. And I said some things that maybe I shouldn't say in the right way or whatever. I made some mistakes, whatever. Those are well documented. And I also did some good things, obviously, but there were some pitfalls that I could have avoided. And all I wanted to do was give Rose the opportunity to do that. However, she agreed to do the interview, said she was going to do it 22 minutes before we were supposed to go live. She gives me some bullshit excuse. She,
Okay, I want to stop here. Hey, Victoria. Oh, and Levels Up Single Mom is here. Hello, hello. All right. Um, I don't know if Rose gave her a BS excuse or not, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I always tell you, ladies, that it is not just the person that you're talking to. It's also all the people that are around that's watching you as you're interacting with this person. So I always give you, for example, the workplace, right? You have a problem with Mary. You're talking to Mary. For whatever reason, Mary is giving you grief. If you blow up at Mary, if you say the wrong things to Mary, you could end up having trouble with HR, and all the people around you will say, well, I didn't see what Mary said. I didn't see what Mary did. I don't think I want Cherie on my team because, or I don't think I'm gonna suggest a promotion to her, or I don't think I'm gonna ask her to happy hour so that we can network, so that way she has a leg up in corporate America because she doesn't know how to respond. She doesn't know how to respond. We have to be careful and cautious and think 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. As mentors and as mentees. So the other thing is assuming is not good, but maybe Christelyn had some other information to know that, Rose truly wasn't indisposed or something like that. I don't know. Um, but let's keep listening.
And so she leaves me with coming to the conclusion that you are selfish, you are narcissistic, you are jealous that Brett gets more attention than you, um, because of who he is, even though you think that you are the reason the channel blow up. It's not true, because if you didn't have that 6'5" white man helping you, your channel would not be where it was. You know what? I know that, sis. Before Brett met you, you were trying to figure out how to do life with EBT cards. I also know what that's like too. So I'm not.
Another thing I wrote on my list here is don't embarrass your mentee publicly. This is a public roasting of Rose. And look, we're playing this off Christelyn's channel. She left this up. This is a public roasting. This isn't right. I'm standing here to say this is not right. And we wonder why we as mentors have a hard time, you know, getting the toxicity out of BWE. This is a prime example. There are ways for us to talk to each other and talk with each other and even talk about each other in ways that are constructive. Also, I will say this. There are a lot of you here who believe either in swirling or in divestment with regards to your relationships. Be careful about pedestalizing other races of men. Be careful about pedestalizing any man. To say that Rose was, had her EBT cards before the white man came and saved her, this is not good. This is not good mentorship. Even if it's true, and I don't know if it's true, like I said earlier, I have not watched Rose, right? We are talking about how we can be good mentors. This is why Victoria's here now. And other people have said this, Black women hate Black women. That is not the case. I said it a couple of days ago. I said broken women hate other women, not Black women. Not Black women. I have another minute to play for you here because something happens. I'm sure most of you all know something happens. And I was just like, okay, I have to turn this off. But let's keep listening.
Trying to down you. But let's be really real here. You're trying to make it seem like you did all this. You didn't. That white man is what pushed you on. And you literally jeopardized your bag to disrespect the man that allows for you to live the life that you are living. Because from what I understand, I don't see no college degrees. I don't see no work history. I don't see no career aspirations. I don't even see no hobbies, girl. All I see is YouTube. That's all you got. And the fact that you would disrespect your husband when he is your cash cow is crazy to me. And this is the girl who swirls saying that. But I want to ask, it could be me. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's ask a man. Babe?
Yes.
I'm gonna put the mic on you. We'll put it together.
Mm-hmm.
It was at this point that I turned off the video. I couldn't believe this. So, two things here. The first is, why are we bringing men into a discussion amongst women? The second is, this is at least the third man. I remember her husband. Her husband, from what I know, was never on the channel. And then she had another white man that she was dating, and things happened on Clubhouse. And now we have this man here. The big thing that I wrote on here is that in order for a mentee to trust you, the mentors have to learn the lessons that they need to learn and make corrective action. The mentors have to make corrective action. So, because Christelyn is, a lot of what she talks about is relationships, and I'm looking at her from your perspectives, thinking, hey, is she going to be a great mentor when it comes to relationships? When she did this, I was like, oh goodness. Oh goodness, it's a cycle and this isn't good. You're going to have different mentors for different areas of your life. Whether it's your career, whether it's relationships, whether it's finance, whether it's spirituality or mental health. And even within finance, for example, the person who mentors you on increasing your credit score may be different from the person who's going to mentor you on buying your first house, who is going to be potentially different than somebody who's going to help you with business and entrepreneurship, right? But if the mentor is making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I'm done with this video now. If the mentor, hey notary world, I got a question for you later on. Coming back to this, if the mentors, this is the last thing I wrote, the mentors making the same mistakes over and over again, has the mentor learned her lessons? Has the mentor learned her lessons? So I don't know what to say with regards to BWE mentorship, with regards to relationships and things like that. You all know I stay over here in my finance section, right? There are things that I can teach you. There are mistakes I have made once and haven't made again. There are other things where I'm like, I'm still learning, right? But what I won't do is I won't get on here and embarrass you. I won't do that. And what I saw, I have to stand for something. This wasn't good. This wasn't good at all. This actually, these types of things is what pushes people away from us as mentors. So I'm going to read through some of your comments, and then we shall see what happens. I have a little bit of time today, so if anybody wants to come up, you can put a 7 in the chat. But here's the rule with coming up. We're not here to bash Christelyn. We're not here to bash Rose. We are here to just talk overall about being a good mentor and being a good mentee. I don't allow bashing of anybody on this channel. We're not here to bash Black men, white men, whatever. We're here to have an overall conversation. But if anybody wants to come on, you could put a 7 in the chat. And I see somebody wants to come on. So let me drop the StreamYard link for you. I'm going to read some of the comments. That you all have. Lanique is saying, I've decided to get my real estate license, going to schedule myself for a class. Good for you, Lanique. Good for you. Look, you can make some good money in real estate, even if you're just doing it part time. Um, Give me a second. The people who are in the back, I'm going to read a few more comments and then I'll let you up. Give me a second. Lanique is saying, I love her, but girl, yes. Oh. Alonzo is saying, I learned of her from Kevin Samuels. Oh, look, that's not a name you want to mention around here. Because he was talking to a certain type of man. Too many Black men don't qualify for what he was talking to or about. You talking about the high value? Lanique is saying the live was extremely uncomfortable. It was. I had to turn it off. There was one point where she was yelling, and I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Yeah, she is, unfortunately. She is, Erica. Level Up Single Mom. Oh, who is up here is saying, I watched her when I first got on YouTube. It didn't take too long, though, for me to realize she wasn't spit. Oh, she wouldn't spit on someone like me. Oh my goodness. I hope not. But look, and Christelyn is a big time grifter. Yeah. I've heard those things. I've definitely heard people say those things about her. And I didn't want to believe it, but the more and more people spoke about her and some of the things that were happening behind the scenes, the more I was like, okay, this isn't good. But the mentorship, the lack of mentorship in BWE is, well, from the biggest names in BWE, let me say it like that. I think is not good. Not good. I will do my best over here, but Rana,
Hi, how are you, Miss Sherry?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing lovely, despite doing the raining weather on Labor Day.
Oh
um,
goodness.
y- yeah, so I would say this. What would be a good examples of a good mentor? Because I remember watching that live. I know
Mhm.
it's uncomfortable for you, but I watched from
Mhm.
start to finish.
Mhm.
And what's disturbed me about it, it just give me like high school vibes. And then at the end, there's something that this individual say that I did not like,
Mhm.
and said, this is what it gives me like high school mingle at the end is like this person said, you are not one of us. And as a person who is a younger generation, this is why like we would just do not come and ask the older generation things, because this is like another form of bullying.
Mhm.
And this is a form of it. And if I come up and say, why are you being so aggressive and bullying, they say, no, it's not aggressive, it's not bullying, that is all in your head, vice versa. And it's going to give the mentee, well, the younger generation who is supposed to do an interview with that individual, a reason not to come. And they say, see, I know you're going to do this, that's why I decided.
Yeah.
And there's people that like that person, there's people that don't like this person, and you can see in the chat, you know
Mhm.
but but I just want to know what would be a very great examples of a good mentee from a grown woman to another. What would be a good example? Because at this point, right,
Mhm.
at this point, being is one way to do criticism, but being very destructive and then this mean girl vibe saying, you're dumb, I'm smart, or look at me, I have a man and you don't.
Mhm.
Um, what would be some good examples of a good mentor from your perspective?
So I have to admit, I don't watch the relationship sector and the like preparing you for marriage sector enough to like have a person to suggest to you. I will say, and I'd love to hear what Level Up Single Mom has to say. I would say that it is somebody who when you leave their presence, you feel better, and not because they told you everything that they wanted, or not because they told you the things you wanted to hear, but even their constructive criticism of you comes from a caring place and a place where you want to do better, right? And they want you to do better. The other thing is, and I said this before in my notes, that the best mentors, uh, they do not push mentorship down your throat as a younger person. So, for example, me, I don't mentor anybody who doesn't want to be mentored. You have to come to me and say, Cherie, I want to be mentored by you. You know, the other thing is I mentor with things that I'm good at and things that are in my lane, right? So a good mentor is going to be somebody who has lived the life that you want to live with regards to whatever, whatever section of life, right? It is. So if it's fitness, you wouldn't follow me for fitness. Trust me, you wouldn't, right? But if we're talking about various areas of finance, you would. Um, I don't know if that answers your question, but um, when I look for mentors, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who walks the talk, first of all. So I am very selective in who my mentors are. And even as close to 50 years old as I am still mentored by people, right? And then I also am mentored by people whose advice I intend to take. Level of single mom, I don't know if you had something to add to that, if you think that I'm totally off. Uh, what are your thoughts with regards to that?
Well, first off, I want to say good evening, Cherie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, well, good evening to you. Good evening to Rana. Good evening to everyone in the chat. Thank you for having me up.
Mhm.
I'm thank you for asking me actually. So I did a video a couple months ago when there was another kerfuffle within DWE, and
Mhm.
I didn't talk so much about the drama as much about this very subject, which is like vetting people that you follow when you kind of want to. Because when we follow people on YouTube, they're like unofficial mentors to us in some ways, right? We
Mhm.
like things that they're saying and we want to kind of adopt their worldview and whatnot. I can't remember what they are right now, and like I'm on my phone because I was fixing dinner when this
Mhm.
came on, so I can't get to them. But I'll go ahead and like email them to you, and maybe like the clip of this part of that video. But at the end of it, I actually put 5 questions that you can kind of ask yourself when evaluating people that you want to follow and like learn from on YouTube or wherever. The biggest thing I would say is just paying attention to how you feel, like you said a little bit earlier, how you feel when coming away from like encounters with them or just watching their things.
Yeah.
To clear up what I said in your chat a little bit earlier, I at first started watching BWE content in maybe like 2016, 2017 or so.
Mhm.
And the first people that I found were quote unquote femininity coaches and like people that were like Pink Pill and some other people that talked about that those types of things, like getting a
Mhm.
man, how you get a man, how to be feminine, this and that and the other. And I went in with a mindset of, okay, I'm coachable. I'm willing to learn and grow and whatnot. But it didn't take me too long, not just with her, but people in that particular sector of BWE to realize that they weren't really, if they met me in real life, they would probably look down on me, or I don't think I would have walked away with a affirming, experience.
Got it. Got it.
So
So is it because of those specific individuals and the way they interact on YouTube, you feel like in real life that they would be worse, or
Well, yes, and I can
Mhm.
point specifically, since we're talking about Christelyn in this case, the way she started talking about Rose once Rose displeased her.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's something I've seen her do with other people on other platforms. When they
Mhm.
displease her, there's very certain themes and things that come out that are consistent with the things she was saying about Rose, making very stereotypical assumptions about Rose and, things like that. And so that, that's not too great.
Which is why one of the things I wrote down here is a good mentor does not embarrass her mentee in public. That does not mean that you don't come on YouTube and say, "Hey, look, this situation overall is happening. Here are some thoughts that I have," but it was the tone. It was some of the language that was used and some of the things that was said, and it was also the tone. I just didn't like it at all, and to the point where it's been a week, I think, since that was, you know, since she did that broadcast, or actually, I think she did 2 or 3 in one day, and I still was thinking about it enough to come on today and have this conversation because, um, it was quite disappointing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I and especially with, the point she was making about, oh well, I thought we had a common goal here with trying to uplift Black women and show them that there are other options for them, and that's fine. But every Black woman is not a cookie cutter model of the next Black woman.
Mhm.
Some people are coming, they look a little different, or their background is a bit different, or, just a lot of different things.
Mhm.
And it just feels like you have to fit this specific mold in order to even qualify for this what would we call it, this evolution or these spoils or whatnot. And not just from her, like I said, in that particular thread of Black women empowerment content, it felt like if you don't fit that cookie cutter mold, then you have to relegate yourself to second class or third class, or beneath status, and you need to accept it. And
Which nobody does. That
right,
is, I mean, there are very, very, very few things that would get anybody like banned from my channel, right? Even if
right.
you have a difference of opinion, I'm perfectly fine with that. Um, but the whole point is that we are like you will even learn things from your mentees as well. You will learn things from the audience, right? It's a give and take. And we're just not I feel like we're just not elevating in certain sectors. And I did see somebody wrote up here like I wish we could stop with all of the getting a man content. I think that's easier said than done. Some of the ladies here are younger women who want to get married and want to have kids and things like that. And you know, let's be real, we can't all be Janet Jackson. So, you know, it's understandable that they would say, "Okay, I'm 24, I'm 25, I want to have a good relationship." So, I definitely get that and understand that, but it can't be at the um it can't come with toxicity. And unfortunately on YouTube, it seems like toxicity wins. It seems like if you don't have a toxic channel, you're not going to get the views, get the people coming, get the subscribers.
Oh, I love that you're saying that. This feels very synchronistic, because I had a live for my Patreon today, and I said almost the same thing verbatim.
Mhm.
That it can be disheartening sometimes when you're trying to give content and a message that you really believe in and you think is going to be good for people, but you see the toxicity that overwhelms thing. And I said, like the video I said I made about the other BWE people, I had them in my thumbnail. And that's, if it's not my biggest, best performing video to date, it's my second best performing video to
Mhm.
date. And that's disheartening.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I'm okay with not having huge numbers, but I do think that, and I think I know that without certain people in the thumbnails, if you're not having certain conversations, I got 46 people here. If I were just talking about, hey, let's get our credit scores up and let's make some additional income, it'd be half of people, which look, I'm grateful for all of my subscribers. I'm grateful for the 20 to 25 people who show up when we talk about the boring stuff, right? Um, but the truth is that this is how things are done. So, Rana, going back to what you asked, one of the big things, this is just Cherie. Uh, I, if I were you, just kind of thinking about it, if you're looking for mentors, at least on YouTube, um, I would not look for the mentors with the super big channels, because oftentimes they're not the ones who are giving you the best information and the best advice. Um, the
I'm
people who have smaller channels are usually the ones that are giving you tangible things that you can actually like do something with, you know? Um, so I want to just comment here on Nia here. PP seems to want to pass the torch, but I don't know why. The girls are getting the messages. PP can be a silent supporter and rest. Now, why does she want to pass the torch, Nia? Um, I did not get the feeling that she wants to pass the torch. I keep getting the feeling that she wants to remain center stage.
I felt that as well. I felt I mean, and I'm being presumptuous here, but it felt to me like there was this thing of either you're with me or you're against me. And so she seemingly didn't take that extension to join her and partner with her. So now it's a thing I have to discredit you and try to tear you down.
Yeah, yeah. And thanks for the super chat. Thank you so much.
oh, go on.
Go ahead, Rana. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna ask if I can add something. I'm gonna piggyback
Sure.
what Miss Level Up Single Mom said. Like, that's the same thing I get. Is kind of like it's like she wants to be on center stage. She wants to be the star. She even said it herself in the live that she is the leader of this beep beep. She's, but but I don't look for mentors on YouTube. I'm basically looking for mentors outside. But sometimes I ask, like, for example, I asked you a question the other day regarding networking, and I appreciate that. And
Mhm.
what you said worked, but
Oh, good. I'm
I just,
glad.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just gonna keep on trying, and but for me, I'm not interested. Maybe because I'm a younger generation. For me, right now, I'm not interested in getting a man and stuff. I'm just interested in how to network and be upper middle class, at least what I need to do, and and I'm trying to
Mhm.
find mentors outside of the social media space, because the way how I view social media back then when it first come out and now is social media is a fantasy. The real world is reality. And I think the problem is that there is like people cannot separate the two. And I don't want content creators that has a big following be as my mentor, because it's like I felt like they cannot separate the two. That's just
Mhm.
my observation. So that's just how I see things. And the way how I view things is like, okay, men will come later. So, and I still look good anyway. So
You go,
it's not,
girl.
so, I'm not worrying about that right now. So I'm just worrying
Yeah.
about just upperly mobile as a Black woman. But yeah.
So let's talk about finding mentors offline. So, uh, networking, which we've spoken about here with regards to, I am a fan of finding two organizations that you could belong to. And those two organizations need to have monthly meetings at least. And you go to every single meeting Put it on your calendar. You go and you basically talk to people, start developing, just an overall friendship with these individuals. And then over time, you will like good mentors will just, you'll look at the person and say, hey, this is a great person that I want to know more about. And then you have, breakfast, lunch, coffee, something like that with the person, but being able to sit one on one with them, come prepared with a couple of questions like, what do you want to leave the meeting with? What do you want to leave the conversation with? And when the person gives you advice, take it. If they say, read this book, get on Amazon in the parking lot, you know, and order the book, right? And read it. And then you go back to the mentor and say, hey, you suggested I read this book. I read it, you know, uh, either I have questions or I thought this about it or whatever it is, right? But that is going to be one of the things that solidifies your relationship with the mentor. Because the mentor is going to say, hey, I told Rana to do something. She actually did it. Now I'm ready to take her to the next level with me. And let me tell you something. I was networking on Thursday. My local, like down the street from my house, is a brewery, and the Chamber of Commerce gets together every Thursday, right? So I go there, right? You never know who you're going to run into. I ran into a man who's like, if you could do these kinds of deals, $3-4 million deals for me, I'll send you a whole bunch of clients at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, right? So you never know who you're going to meet. And you never know who can open doors for you. And this is why I also say, be careful what you're saying, because the mentor you may not be speaking one-on-one with the potential mentor. That person may just be seeing you out of the corner of their eye, and they may look at you for a year before they even approach you to even, open up the idea of being your mentor. But once that person likes you and you're in, the amount of doors that open up and the things you get access to, it could put you in the upper middle class. One person, one good person. So, did that answer your question, Rana?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm just gonna pray on it, and yeah, thank you
And
so
just get
much.
into action. Just start networking. From networking, the mentors will show up. And also being clear about like what you want to be mentored in, right? So if it's just your career, it's not just your career. It's like a career as a, whatever it is, fill in the blank kind of thing. So Victoria is in the building. Hello. You can unmute yourself.
I'm on hello.
Hello.
Happy Labor Day, Cherie, and everyone on the
So
panel.
much. Thank you.
I've been back here working, y'all, trying to fix up my little bookshelf. You see my picture?
I do. It looks fabulous. Is it going to stay there or is it going to go someplace else?
I'm thinking one on this side and one
Uh-huh.
on this side. So I
Ah,
have
got
another
it.
one. Oh, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to learn these angles and stuff. I got another one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I did some custom posters today, and I've been running around all over town like a chicken with my head cut off. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying about the being mindful of how you behave when you think no one's watching,
hmm
because the person I'm working with now in my mentorship program told me that they were observing me from far away. So I was like, oh, okay, what did you see exactly? So I'm learning myself, I have to kind of button up and tighten things up, because not everybody cares about Victoria's personal opinions about things. That includes politics, because that's not my lane. My lane is credit solutionist. So I have to start. Oh, and is my audio okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I have to be mindful of that as well, because people are watching. So I don't want to say something unsavory that may cause someone to not work with me, when the thing that I said may not have anything to do with my business relationship with that person.
Mhm.
And I have very strong opinions, so I have to tamp that down now. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with just being the credit lady from this point on. So I did have a question for you though, Cherie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Girl, when did I say all Black women hate each other? Did I type that or did I say that verbally? Because girl, maybe I was drinking or something. I don't know.
You actually, so you didn't say Black women hate Black women, but
Okay.
you said it in context, and it wasn't the exact. I'll actually like send it to you.
Okay. Because I was like,
So
what is she talking about?
yes, but you did. You said it, but you didn't say it exactly like that.
And I
But
probably didn't because I don't truly believe that all Black women hate each other. I really don't, because hate is a very strong word.
mhm,
I think that there is an energy that I've experienced, but I'm also open to the fact that it is not just a one-way transmission of energy.
mhm.
I understand it goes both ways because a lot of times you expect something, so you kind of tense up a little bit, and then your energy can cause the other person to tense up too. So then you're already misunderstanding each other or
Yeah.
not interacting in the most optimum way, if that makes sense.
Mhm. So the other thing, when I did the unpopular opinion about Black women do not hate Black women, I said that if you're attracting a lot of toxic people to you, it's
Mhm.
something that's coming from you.
Mhm.
And um, what you were talking about right now, with regards to like the things that you say, the people that observe you, like, that is energy coming to you.
Mhm.
That is who's attracted to you. That's the people who are you're like a magnet
Mhm.
for those individuals, and you repel other individuals. So if you have a whole lot of toxicity, like if I had a gossip channel, for
Mhm.
example, that all I did was tear people down. Oh, Erica is in the building. Oh my goodness. Hey, Erica. Yeah, some people are unhealed.
They
Um,
are.
but if now see, Erica got me off my game here. But I was
Girl,
I
you
was
better take a
talking. I
deep
was
breath.
like, no. I was like, Erica's here. So no. So people, you know, people. If I had a YouTube channel, that's what I was saying. If I had a YouTube channel that was all just about gossip and talking badly about people and Black men ain't ish and all of this stuff, it would attract a certain group of people, a certain type of woman to this channel. But because we don't do that over here, we get very discerning with regards to like, hey, who's going to be a part of the Black women making money space? And if you're not down for like, hey, we're gonna have a good time, we'll do some messy money topics. So we've been known to do that, right? But we also get serious. We get serious about our credit. We get serious about our debt. We get serious about our careers, our network, and stuff like that. If that's not you, you're not gonna like being over here. And
That's facts.
I'm very purposeful about my content as well. I'll do 20% messy topics, of
Mhm.
which I would consider this one, even though I'm really am trying to make a point with this. But the other 80%, like, you know, I just don't want the drama.
Mhm. Mhm. So, what do you really believe? Because I didn't catch the very beginning of the live stream, so I
Uh-huh.
do apologize. I may be um, asking you a question that you've already answered, but
Mhm.
what was your perspective on what Christelyn did? Because I agree with you that it was damaging
Mhm.
in the sense that it damaged Chris more than Rose is the girl's name, right?
Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah, it because Rose now is continuing to do content with her husband. She's continuing to
Are
now
they
do
back?
yeah,
Let me.
it's the mend the fences. Now we're back together.
Okay.
I always say don't comment on married people's or even relationships for that matter publicly
Mhm.
because
You never know.
exactly. And
Mhm.
I'm very careful to not get in those conversations because it's like you're going to say something, cause a ruckus, and then they're going to be back together. So then what do you look like?
Mhm.
Now you're the odd man out.
Yeah.
So I'm very cognizant of that. And what I saw was essentially Rose probably thinking to herself, I don't need Christelyn. I am bigger than Christelyn in terms of numbers and subscribers. Because she is. There are more platforms talking about Rose and her situation
Mhm.
than there are about Christelyn Karazin. Now, Chris may have a more well-rounded brand, sure. However, she's a woman of a certain age. Rose, they just don't attract the exact same demographic. There is some like a Venn diagram where they meet in the middle, kind of, but I don't know. I feel like one has more staying power than the other. And I also feel like Chris only comes out of the shadows whenever there is something popping to talk about. So she's an opportunist too.
Well, we all agree with that. We do.
Yeah.
We all agree with that.
So
So
what was your thought on it?
I want to say one thing. Notary world, we need to know how to make money as notaries. I'm thinking about taking a class. Victoria, I think, wants to know as well as some other people. So if you can reach out to me, bwmakingmoney@gmail.com. I want to bring you to the channel because we need to know how to make these coins being notaries. So if you would do that for me, please. Okay, so the biggest note that I had here, I had a couple of things. Number one was Christelyn, and I played a portion of what Christelyn said. Christelyn gave her opinion about a situation without Rose asking for that opinion. So I basically said Rose didn't ask to be mentored. That was one of the first things that I noted. The second thing is that you don't embarrass the mentee publicly. The way that Kristen was speaking to and about Rose was embarrassing, was meant to embarrass Rose. There's a way for us to speak and encourage and give counsel to people without embarrassing them. I didn't like that. The third thing is, so we'll put it back on the stage here. I didn't like this. I don't believe that if you and I, Victoria, are having a conversation that has nothing to do with the person, the man, right? It's a conversation between us. Why are we bringing in other people? I don't like that. And yes, it is a male. It's also a white male. Like I do have a thing about like bringing white men into Black people's spaces and what we're talking about, etc. The fourth thing, which is the big thing, well, not the big thing, but a big thing as well, is Christelyn has done this before where she is dating a man and then she brings him in front of the camera and then things fall apart in her life. Mentees do not trust mentors or should not trust mentors that have not learned their lessons. And this is a recurring thing with Christelyn. And I'm speaking to Christelyn as a peer. I don't care about sub count. She and I are practically the same age. I think she has a couple of years on me. So I'm speaking to her as a peer. Mentees should not take advice from mentors who have not learned their lessons, right? So I those
Your
were
audio went a little low. Are you good?
yeah. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was just saying mentees should not take advice from mentors who aren't practicing what they're preaching and who have not learned the lessons from the past.
I think that is also, if I could just give some advice here, like small business advice, unless your lifestyle and your personal life is going to elevate your brand, nobody needs to know who you're dating.
Sure.
Nobody needs to see it. Like if I had a boyfriend, y'all would never know.
Speak.
I love you all. Yeah. Well, sure, you'd probably know like behind the scenes, but I wouldn't share him because he doesn't add to my platform. Like I am a standalone product essentially. So
Not only that, with Christelyn, it's worse because she has had 2 relationships disintegrate that we know of because of what? She talking about it on social media, bringing the guy up on social media, having him interact with Black men, knowing her platform the way that it is and the the issues that she's had.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I'd like
Well,
to
I have a
add
love single
something.
mom.
I'd like to add
Um,
to your point that you made about her, someone hasn't learned their lesson. I think in that way, though, and to what Ashley Victoria said also, I think she does believe that that adds to her brand. Again, the way she was addressing Rose, it was as if to say, look, I can get these affluent white men anytime I want to, like I have my pick of the litter type of thing. And so I believe in her mind, showing these men off is a way of saying, look, my methods work.
I do think I agree with you. It's like that. Him coming on the screen was literally just, he was a prop.
Right.
And I don't know, obviously, we don't know that guy. But when I saw it, all I saw was a commercial. And I understand my brain doesn't work like everybody's, and I'm a bit more of a skeptic than other people. But all you saw was a commercial. Chris just has to kind of get the algorithm going again. We don't know what's going on with her brands outside of YouTube, outside of, her platform. Because what is it? Beyond Black and White? That's still a thing, right? Or Pink Pill is what it is. So having a white man, she's in a cabin, supposedly. We don't know. My last apartment in Lynchburg looked like that. So she could be in an apartment somewhere, you guys. Like, come on. So she's in this cabin in the woods, and she's with this wonderful white man.
on
that has
40 acres, she said, on 40 acres.
Yeah. So she made, and listen, was it coincidental that she said 40 acres as a Black woman dating a white man? See, this is the stuff I don't need to say out loud. So I wonder if there was a mule back there, is what I'm getting at.
Ma'am, we're together. You're not the only one thinking that. It was too much.
So I'm just saying, I knew that I was watching a commercial, a production. And I what I actually thought, Cherie, when I saw him sitting in the background, I remember audibly saying, I bet that's a damn green screen. She probably just took a video of him.
Like, oh gosh, no, and he was really there.
And when he came up, then I said, oh, he's really there. Okay, now I might. Okay, but
wait, you said you thought the man was a green.
Yeah, like when you see the beginning of the video, because she's in the front, and then the way he's kind of just in the back, and then he kind of waves. Okay, listen, y'all, it's very easy to get that done. It's very easy. So I was like, oh, Chris got her stuff together. But that's the skeptic in me, and I do it to a fault, so I will admit that. But again, it was a commercial, so I didn't have an emotional response to it or anything like that. It was like, oh, this is marketing. Okay, I'm taking notes. I don't really like what she did, but it's marketing. Because how long ago was it? And we're here talking about it. Like, it was, what would you say, like 2 weeks ago, maybe?
I thought it was a week ago. The only reason I'm talking about it now is because I was busy. I was building my course.
I'm saying, you got stuff to do.
Shout out to me, everybody. ShowMeTheMoneyCourse.com. If you want to be a real estate investor, you want to know where you're going to get the money from. So ShowMeTheMoneyCourse.com. That's my commercial. And it's free. It's free. Just go and sign up.
I love it. But did you feel that like there was a marketing aspect to it? Did you sense that at all?
It's always marketing, but I don't mind that, because YouTube is marketing, right? All of YouTube is marketing. Yes. What I'm doing here, like I just gave my course a shout out, right? That's marketing, right? Now, if I wanted to market more, I would have more topics like this and just grow a big channel, Yeah. Pocket Watching with JT is an excellent example of a financial person who, through his own methods, we know what happened. He started talking about all the financial advice, and he started naming names, and look at where he is right now, right? But that's marketing too. So the marketing itself doesn't bother me. I don't tell anybody. I understand that people are coming to YouTube for one of two reasons. Either they're coming to make money, or they're coming to vent and find community with other people who want to vent.
Okay.
Oftentimes it's a little bit of both. But those are the two main reasons, you know. And when I say vent, I mean sometimes it's like your political people or, you know, people like
Right.
that who, yeah, who have a message that they want to get out and just vent, right? Um, I am cautious of people who, and I, Victoria, you know, anytime I say this and there's a person who does YouTube full time, they tense up when I say this. I am cautious of people who do YouTube full time or do social media full time.
Mm-hmm.
I I and I know you have your coaching and things like that. You get business from other ways as well.
Yeah, it's like offline. It's I have to show my face, but you know.
Yeah. Uh, but anybody who makes their money on social media, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, you know, Facebook, etc.,
Yeah.
I have what I feel is a very healthy skepticism for them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think any mentee should be skeptical of those people as well because they'll say anything or do anything to remain in the algorithms and to, you know, make a living,
Mm-hmm.
get the views, sell the courses, sell their coaching, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the pharmaceutical industry, there's no money in healing.
Facts.
There's no
That's
money in
facts.
healing. Yeah.
And that's why I saw the light too. It's like, okay, I could fix credit scores all day, every day, but then what? Because once I fix your credit score, you're out of my ecosystem.
Mhm.
Like, let's be real. And I'm not going to say any more than that because I think the people that are like business owners and stuff or are growing something understand what I'm getting at. So you have to be willing to pivot while still doing your original thing. Like I literally was about to walk away from credit repair. And then I was like, oh, wait, but the other stuff's not strong enough yet for me to do that. So why would I walk away from credit repair? So no, we're still doing that. And I'm having to now work things out on my end as well. Like, okay, I'm going to be in the city I'm in for at least another year. So now I'm putting boots on the ground, which is why we actually just talked about it today with the mentorship program. It's so crazy because I had a conversation with this gentleman and I'm not going to say I convinced him, but I was able to kind of show him like you should shift into teaching young people how to go into business versus us just showing up every other week and sitting with them and going over affirmations. I'm like, I think there's more that we can do here than just this. There's a big opportunity here. And
Mhm.
I'm so excited that he actually is gonna go in that direction now. So I'm realizing that again for myself, I have to pivot and, become an authority in my city,
Yeah.
in my little lane. You know what I mean? There's a unique opportunity here. So it's not just online.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you're gonna do the debt thing, but I think that credit, a lot of the issue that a lot of people have credit issues because they have debt issues. So I could definitely
Yeah.
see that, you know, being together. But I also know that you really do want to help people and mentor people with their business ownership as well, starting and growing their businesses, which, you know, so many people need assistance with because the supermajority of people can't survive on just one income, can't survive
No.
on a 9 to 5 job. So, you know, getting smart about running a part-time business. And over here at Black Women Making Money, we do not do side hustles. We do side businesses, which is why I
Mhm.
want Notary World to come and talk to us about like how to make money, like really
Right.
make money doing notaries. I'm actually going to get back into a lot more money making content, like how do we increase our incomes. Um, but you know,
And how long
I
has your channel been up, Cherie? Because you're at like 3K now, right?
no, I'm at 1,700.
Girl, why did I think you was at 3K?
I
I'm like,
don't know.
girl, I'm over here inflating numbers.
I don't. You over here inflating numbers.
Okay. Well, look, whoever's not subscribed, subscribe to Cherie. But
Yes.
no, I think your content is very well rounded. It's very well structured. And I'm taking notes from that as well, because like I said, so I feel like a lot of times the algorithm is not good to me because I'm flip-flopping all over the place.
Mhm.
So, but that's because I'm trying to inject too much of who Ashley Victoria is into my content when it's not necessary. You will get to know me when you work with me, right? But I'm learning a lot. That's all I'm really getting at here. And I want for everyone that's even watching the channel right now, I believe what you're seeing with Christelyn Karazin is someone that is trying to pivot, but maybe not doing it in the right way.
How is she trying to pivot?
I feel like, okay, I'm like,
Yeah, you
okay,
lost me. Okay.
yeah, okay, bear with me now, because I'm thinking like never mind. So what I'm trying to say here is she's trying to, in my mind, she has a skincare line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which she mentions, even though she's going crazy, talking all kind of weirdness, she always tends to mention it. So I think in some ways, when she's doing her pivot, what I'm noticing is she's trying to stay on the up and up sometimes when she comes out, but then she gets distracted because she knows that interracial relationships and all that is going to make money and sell. But I guarantee you within a month, she's going to come back over and then push something new that she has on her platform. That's what I believe. I could be wrong, and it could be an unpopular opinion. I'm not saying she's ever going to get away from the drama, but she is always trying to create a new product or service. That I have seen from her over the last few years. I think that the dramatic stuff is just to get the eyeballs back on her so you can watch and see whatever she produces next. Or she could be bipolar. I don't know.
I was going to say, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I get what you're saying in
And
terms
I know
of
people are like, what?
no, in terms of the businesswoman, that she presents herself as, that would be the obvious lane to try to do. But the volatility of the way she lashes out and the way she comes off, and it's in conflict between who she speaks as though she is during these things and what these things actually look like. If she was going that route, like you said, of for shock value, I don't think she would be saying like, oh, because I'm just so classy and she's so trashy. And like it feels more like a personal things that we shouldn't be seeing, that we're seeing in real time. And it's honestly kind of sad. And I wanted to say about what Cherie was saying about, or it might have been you, about trying to do business and having to do business in a way where you kind of need people to stay in your sphere. I come from a background, I have a cosmetology license. I used to work in hair salons and things like a decade or so ago. And I worked at a salon that was kind of like a sweatshop. And I
Oh my
remember
goodness.
talking to other women I worked with there, and we were saying like our aspirations to open up salons of our own. I know I personally wanted the type of salon that was like, would wind up being like a Paul Mitchell type of situation where people would always refer back to having worked with me, but they go on to do such amazing things. But they talk like, I feel like that's the best way to do business, is to be the type of business that people that leave from you go on to have amazing situations of their own, but they can still point back to you and say, oh, well, that was my mentor.
I think that is a great place for us to leave off, because what you said is so powerful. And there are people out there that create the next level of, or the next generation of great um, influencers, for example, or great healthcare professionals, or great mortgage loan officers for me, right? People are pouring into me right now, etc. So, um, that is the sign of a great mentor. Is somebody who has, mentees that are better off because I was mentored by them, right? Or, you know, or that community was mentored by them. So, Notary World has sent me an email, y'all. So, we're going to get on Notary World's channel. Anybody who wants to know how to make the shmoney in notary, y'all are going to want to be on. It's probably going to be the end of this week or next week sometime because your girl's busy for the next couple of nights. So we're gonna figure out when we can get on Notary World channel, Notary World's calendar, and we're gonna talk about making money through notary. So anything else, ladies? Because your girl's got to be up at like 4 a.m.
Girl, what you doing at 4 a.m.?
Girl, I have to leave the house at 6 and I got to walk the dogs before I leave the house.
Yeah.
I got meetings all day in Reston, Virginia, which is like 3 hours away in traffic. So,
Oh my God.
yes, yet, girl, this is the life of being area director of our company. So,
Oh, I love that so much. And that's why your content is different. Okay.
that is why the content is different, girl. Girl is building over here.
I
But
love it.
yeah, so any final comments?
No, that's it. Oh, but like you said, network, network, network. I went to school in the beginning of the year, and through networking there, I was able to get a conference going in October. So, all types of things. They were throwing money at me. Like, it was so much. I did a couple of speaking things there. I was going to school. I wasn't going there to do that. I was just going to school. But speak up about what you do, who you are, make connections, and just be yourself, and networking will take you so far.
It will. We're going to do another networking session too, but I expect people to show up. I expect to get 50 people in the building to talk about getting this money through networking. Go ahead, Ashley. Or Victoria. I'll call you Victoria. I don't know why you got Ashley there.
Well, that's the birth certificate situation. But look, okay, I was gonna say network, and hey, it's okay to be a loudmouth, man. Just don't be obnoxious. A lot of the opportunities I've gotten in my life are because I spoke up and just said hello and said, hey, I do this. Let me give you my card. People are going to have opinions about whatever you do. And the main message I'm giving to everybody that comes to my platform and lays eyes on my wonderful face when the face is beat is, it was not a conference call when you got whatever goal or dream or anything, whatever the mission of your life is, that was given to you. So do what you need to do to make it happen. And win, lose, or draw, Miss Christelyn is doing that exact thing. We could judge it all we want, but she still gets eyes on her. We can choose to do it in a whole different way. So it is what it is. But I say, believe in yourselves. And if you got that dream, whatever it is, again, give it the attention that it deserves. Don't be distracted by this mess like what she's doing. Don't be distracted by that, because that's part of the ploy too. All right.
I agree.
Greater powers are at work here, you guys. So you got to keep your mind about you. Keep your head. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today on Labor Day.
Wow. We've had the political conversation over here. No matter who wins, things are shifting. Shifting in the country, things are shifting with the economy. Don't think the next president is going to make it better.
My life hasn't changed much.
That's what I said. So focus. The prices are not going down. Focus on increasing your income. So I am going to give a shout out to Victoria. If you all need a part-time business, anything like that, go see her, because I don't have any content around that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can't see my poster, but mycreditcall.com, guys. mycreditcall.com.
And you can ask her business questions, how to get your business up and running and started and all of that good stuff. And other than that, we're gonna get this notary thing together. We're gonna talk to some other people who are making some good money, and we're gonna be about increasing our income from now to the end of the year. Screw these politicians. So thank you, Level Up Single Mom. Thank you, Rana. And thanks to everybody who was here tonight. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.